Well, welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. Exciting times for the Washington Nationals. A new era for this club, joined now by the new manager, Blake Butera. Blake, first of all, congratulations. How does it feel, man? I mean, you're a manager in Major League Baseball.
It's pretty surreal. I don't know if it's all the way set in yet, but no, just excited to be here, excited to, put in the work that we have ahead of us and get to work.
Okay. Take us through, the viewers probably don't understand. Explain the day you got the phone call, what that all entailed, because there's a lot more layers than just a simple phone call of, hey, you got the job.
Yeah, it was a phone call, offered the job. Obviously had to go through all the, red tape and things that go involved with contract and all of that. And then next thing you know, wife's going into labor, first child, daughter Blair, and navigating the firstborn with this new job, and yeah.
How quickly did Blair get a Nats onesie?
I think it was in the mail like the next day. We got home from the hospital and there was a bag waiting there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, what was that day like as you kind of look back? I mean, the best of both worlds, obviously. The most important day of your life with the birth of your daughter. You get, professionally. I mean, how do you encapsulate that day and that moment, those moments?
I think first and foremost, just the fact that the birth went smoothly and my wife was healthy, the baby was healthy, and then once we had a second to hold her and exhale a little bit, it's like, all right, now like we have a new era in front of us, right? A new chapter in front of us, and it was just really exciting and pretty special to be able to spend it with our close family that were there for the birth, and just a day we'll never forget.
That is so awesome. All right, so let's talk a little X's and O's here. So it's a two-way street. Nats wanted you. Why did you want the Nats?
I think kind of like I laid out in the press conference, right? Just hearing Paul and his vision and how he sees this thing is going to be built from the ground up, and the foundation and what he's trying to do in terms of bringing the right people in the door and create a culture here, a winning culture that can be sustainable for a long time.
A team managed by Blake Butera. What does that look like?
It's going to be a team that's fundamentally sound. They're going to play hard. They're going to play the game the right way. They're going to do all the little things right. And little things being run the bases hard, show up to stretch on time, go first to third. The things that baseball fans want and deserve to see.
All right, so you obviously saw the headlines when you got hired. The age. You're going to get this age question probably for a number of times going forward here. Is that fair? Like, does it bother you that, that title of manager of the Nats, but it also comes with the youngest manager in Major League Baseball since the 70s?
I totally understand, and it's totally fair to ask. I think, I hope that when however many years it is from now, when you look back and ask the players what they thought about the age or if that impacted how they felt or developed, I'd hope that they'd say that they didn't really think about it, and that what was most important was that I poured everything I had into each one of our players and care about them as people first and want to do what's best for them. And the staff around us that we're building right now is going to be really good. They're going to be experienced. They're going to have a lot of history and an incredible work ethic that's going to help our players reach their ceiling.
Let me turn it around. How do you think maybe being a younger manager can help you, maybe be an asset?
Yeah, I mean, I was in their shoes not too long ago, not at the major league level, but obviously the minor league level. Understand the challenges of this game on the field, off the field, how small the window is, how quick these careers can go, and how precious time is. So understanding that, having empathy with these players, making sure they understand kind of what they need to work on, where their deficiencies might be, and then supporting the heck out of them to help them get better.
Obviously, it's going to be a busy offseason for this club, trying to tinker a little bit with the roster, maybe get some more pieces. But as you look at the roster currently, what do you think?
It's an impressive young group. It's really impressive. And I think just talking with a lot of them on the phone, what stood out to me is that they're, somewhat content with the job they've done up to this point, albeit, at 21, 22 years of age, a lot of them. They all feel strongly there's another gear they can get to, and that's where they want to get.
All right, the big buzzword in baseball these days, analytics. How do you embrace that side of the game?
You have to embrace it. I think the best teams in baseball learn to embrace it. But it's also not cookie cutter. Like, you have to understand what goes into our process, what goes into the information, and then how to use it, right? I think some organizations struggle where they just throw all the information out and they don't use any of it. And then some organizations struggle as well when they take it all in and then hand it to all their players and their staff but don't understand how to use it the right way. So coming from an organization like the Rays, where we're big into information and analytics, but we also understand how to use it.
So you haven't managed in a couple of years, correct? So what did you do the last couple of years? Kind of explain to us.
I was our director of player development with the Rays, so I oversaw our entire player development system from top down and made sure we were helping our players get better and their timelines were lined up with helping getting them to the big leagues and sort of that nature.
How does that help you these last couple of years for this job in Washington and kind of having that managerial experience in the minor leagues into what you've been doing the last 2 years?
I think it's a unique situation where a lot of people that manage don't get a chance to spend a couple of years in the front office and oversee the whole system and kind of how it operates and what goes into creating a winning organization from the bottom up. So I think that's kind of how bringing those two together. I've been very fortunate that the Rays, have put me in that situation.
You said a couple of buzzwords during the press conference. Relationships was one of them, and obviously you have to create a very strong relationship with Paul Taboni. How's that going, and kind of just the importance of you guys being a tag team in a sense?
Yeah, you nailed it. I think going into this interview process, I knew that the best teams in baseball, their manager and their president are very close together. With the Rays, that's how Cashy and Eric are, manager, president. So I knew through the process that if this was going to work, it's going to have to be a really good partnership and a strong knit relationship. And getting to know Paul and kind of making sure all those buttons were buttoned up, and I see us working really well together.
This fan base has been very patient with this baseball club. The word rebuild been thrown around a lot with this club. How do you see the situation here in Washington?
I think we have a good young group. I don't want to put a firm timeline of when we expect to get X amount of wins, but what I can say is that, in year one, right off the bat, we're going to start to create a good foundation and make sure that there's solid habits that are built day in and day out that are going to ultimately lead to success over a sustainable amount of years.
With that being said, short-term goals versus long-term goals, what does success look like for you after year number one?
Relationships, work ethic, making sure that our players understand that we want what's best for them and that we're going to do everything we can to help them get better. And that means accountability both from the staff standpoint and also the player standpoint. And when we marry those two together, I think we're going to create some pretty special moments.
Well said. Blake Butera, new manager of the Nationals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Much more to come right here on Toyota Sports Talk. Stay with us.